And now, as promised, the story of the Bloody Nun from Poland. Once upon a time in Poland, there was a very beautiful young nun named Sister Regina. She lived in a secluded monastery with only a few other nuns. Their small community was located deep in the woods, far away from prying eyes and the sins of the outside world. But one day, a nobleman was passing by and he decided to seek shelter in the chapel. His name was Casimir, and he was a very handsome man. And when he saw the beautiful nun, he immediately fell madly in love with her. Now this wasn't unusual. Back in those days, it was very common for handsome young men to visit the local church and proposition the pretty young nuns, and the nuns would play hard to get. They knew that the attention of these men was a great compliment, and they would string them along just for the ego boost. But Sister Regina, she was different. She didn't play games with this guy. When Casimir first approached her and told her of his undying love, she actually reciprocated his feelings. Yes, you heard me right. She, too, had fallen head over heels in love with the nobleman. They began meeting secretly in the chapel, away from prying eyes, and soon their little trysts became known among the other nuns. The order's Mother Superior was furious, knowing that she couldn't punish the nobleman for his actions, locked young Sister Regina in the monastery's dungeon, hoping that the small space and isolation would bring her back to her senses. But it did not. In fact, every time Casimir visited the church, he would sneak down into the dungeon and meet with Sister Regina in secret. This went on for months, but eventually someone found out about the affair and word reached the bishop. He arrived at the monastery with a handful of priests and dragged both the nobleman and Sister Regina out of the building. They were paraded through the streets for all to see. And then the bishop announced that the young nun would be locked up in the monastery for the rest of her life. As for the nobleman, he was banished from the city and forbidden to ever return. But before any of that could happen, during the walk of shame through the city, something very strange occurred. Sister Regina suddenly collapsed. Some said that she had been cursed by one of the other nuns. Others said that she had been stricken with God's wrath. But the most popular rumor held that the nobleman had cast some sort of spell on her, causing her to fall under his control. And then, as if to prove this point, she rose up and began attacking the bishop. She clawed at his face and bit his hand, and it took several strong men to pull her off of him. Then she was dragged back to the monastery and thrown into the dungeon, where she spent the remainder of her life. It is said that she returned as an angry spirit, appearing to people and weeping blood. Anyone who entered the church where she lived would either go insane or die under mysterious circumstances. And this led people to believe that she was haunting the church, searching for her one true love. And some say that she is still there to this very day. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to check out more content. There are plenty more creepypastas and scary stories waiting for you. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.